We've started to assemble the Lycoming. Got the crank in, the rearward cam. Lifter bores are tight and smooth. Notice the number 2 and 3 main bearings are not all that different from what you'd find in a car. Then here's the oil galley, and these have a little stud to help hold the bearings in place. O-rings go in here and here, and through around the front case bolt. This case is actually sealed with an aviation sealant and a silk thread that goes around the case. This main bearing is the very important front main bearing that takes all the prop load. Assembled this half first because there are 2 dowel holes and dowel pins on this side of this bearing to hold it in place. It's easier to assemble this side first and set this side down on top of it. You're waiting for the hardware, the bolt that holds this gear to the crank. 2 bolts that hold this timing gear and accessory drive gear, or gears in place. Not sure what you call this piece. I have to look in the book. And waiting on the bolts that hold this cam gear to the cam. It only fits one way. Can't mess that part up. And it has timing marks on the gears. This is aviation Phillips 2050 aviation oil. The type M is for break-in. Over here there's the ring gear, alternator, the engine mount we've got made, finishing that up. Spacers, because the engine mount has to sit forward, or the engine has to sit forward on the mount about 1.5 inches. So the accessory case and the oil pan will clear the cross brace that has to be there. These pieces here are where the nose gear will tie back into the mount. This accessory case, this will be blocked off. This is for mechanical fuel pump. We'll not be using that. 2 oil cooler from oil cooler, vacuum pump block off plate, breather, tachometer drive that will be blocked off. This is a oil thermostat. There's a fine oil filter screen inside this housing. This is for the oil temperature. And I'm waiting on the nuts that secure, the castle nuts that secure the oil pump. Free, snug, no binding. I have it secured now with regular nuts just to snug it down and check for binding. So, we're getting there. We should have a Lycoming o360 hanging off of the Delta pretty soon. On over there is the oil sump and the carburetor. On most aircraft engines, the intake tubes are built into the oil sump. It looks like this. So there you go. More to come.